Alright guys, welcome to our preview and predictions for WWE TLC, which takes place this Sunday live on the WWE Network. Elle, are you looking forward to this month's show?
Yeah, I'd probably say I really am looking forward to it. Looking at it, it's a really strong card. The only fault is, again, we haven't had a lot of build-up, but just looking at the card, it looks like it could be a phenomenal pay-per-view, and I'm kind of hyped for it. I just hope it goes to plan.
I hope so. I think looking at the card, it's kind of mixed. I think if it didn't have all them gimmick matches in there, maybe would struggle a little bit. But it's kind of got me interested. I love a good TLC tables match. So I'm all for that. I don't know about a chairs match, but I think there's a lot of good gimmick matches on there. If it was just single matches, I'd be a bit worried. But I'm quite looking forward to this.
Yeah, definitely. I think the gimmick matches would probably be the safe because, like you say, if it was just normal singles matches, we'd probably be moaning about them and probably wouldn't give a damn.
Yeah, absolutely. So, to be fair, just saying that, I'm quite looking forward to it now. But before we get to TLC, let's revisit last month's Hell in a Cell predictions. It appears to be one of the most predictable shows that we've ever seen, because 78 people submitted predictions for it. 42 of them all got it right. They all got a perfect score of 5 out of 5 correct results, including you and me. So, do you think we'll be topping predictions again this month, or are you thinking this is going to be a little bit less predictable?
No, I'd say this pay-per-view, there's a few matches that could easily go either way. We've got things like the Wyatt matches and things, whereas last month, like you said, everything was so predictable and it kind of ruined the pay-per-view a little bit. But going into this, it feels a lot more fresh, and now that there's a champion crowned and things could go either way. So fingers crossed we're onto a winner.
Yeah, hopefully. I think this is going to be a lot trickier to kind of predict this month. There's a lot of matches that do kind of look like they can go either way. So I'm hoping we get a bit better this month, because like you said, it did kind of ruin it a little bit last month. But, congratulations to all 42 people that got them right, including us. I think this time, a lot trickier, but I'm hopeful. We've done pretty well in the last couple of months, so I think we'll get a good score. But if you want to get involved and submit your predictions, you can head on over to smacktalks.org/predictions and submit your predictions there, and I'll post the results on Monday morning. Now, one other thing I want to get out before we get to predictions. Last month we put the question to you, which superstars, divas and legends you would put in your Survivor Series dream team, and we got loads of great responses to that. So this month I want to put the question to you, which superstars, divas or legends would you put in a dream TLC match? Elle, how about you?
It's a really tough one, especially because of the stipulation. I think I'll stick with the divas, and God, how many would you have on a team? I think I'd go for Trish and Lee, the besties. Over the years, they had some phenomenal matches. Probably the only divas to really compete in a varied style of matches. We've had cage matches, no holds barred, etc. I think those two would be the perfect dream team divas.
I think so. I think they would put on an awesome match. It's hard to think of any gimmick matches divas have had. They don't seem to have had many. Trish and Lita were the last two. I think they would put on an awesome match. That's a really good pick. Sticking 1v1, I think I would go Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, because I think we've already seen them feuding with each other in NXT, and I think when it comes to the main roster in a couple of years' time, this is probably a match that we could see. I think it'd be a great way to just continue that. And one of the reasons that I thought that was the last match they had in Ring of Honor. It was a ladder match between Kevin Steen and El Generico, so Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and it was such a brutal and awesome match. It ended with a package pile driver off the ladder onto another ladder that was wedged between the ladder and the ropes, and it literally looked like he killed him, and I couldn't believe it when I was going through that. It was that classic TLC feel, like the Hardys and the Dudleys, and I would absolutely love to see that on the main roster. I don't know if they'd let them go that far, but it'd be really cool to see. I think in terms of tag team matches, I can't help but want another Dudleys and Hardys match. And I did see that they're kind of teasing it on Twitter today. Someone sent us it. And I thought that would be so cool to get that at WrestleMania next year. But obviously not having Edge and Christian in there, we need some replacements. So my dream match, TLC wise, in terms of tag teams, I would go the Hardys, the Dudleys, and then outside the WWE, I would go with the Young Bucks, so we can have a super kick party, and the Motor City Machine Guns. How's that sound?
It sounds like it could be one hell of a match, and it's kind of interesting because you've got a few different generations and you've got a few different styles, so you'd definitely be really one to watch out for if it did happen.
I think it'd be awesome. I love something like that, but I don't know if we'd get them going to the kind of extremes like they used to. So I don't know, if I see the Hardys and the Dudleys, I'll be wanting them to really push the boat out. but I've got a feeling because it's PG and they've scaled things back, we mightn't get that. Do you have a like tag team match you would like to see TLC wise?
It's like really hard because like I loved like WrestleMania 16, 17, where we had like the original TLC matches with the Hardys,
They would hardly walk after it.
Haha, very funny. When we had like the Hardys and the Dudleys, and there was some like really, really amazing matches. Like even now, I can still remember them, like having Jar and King on. It was just like so like brilliant. So I think I wouldn't mind seeing like a third one to kind of like finish that off. Like I really loved it. Fair enough, Edge and Christian are like retired and things, but I think I'd really want to see a rematch between the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian.
I would love it. Like dream match wise, I think we can fit that in there. I would say it's got to be an option. What would you say was your favourite TLC match, like from the ones that we had over the years?
It'd definitely have to be 17, like where we had the Dudleys versus Edge and Christian and the Hardys. Like you say, we had like Heyman. I couldn't remember his name for a second there. Heyman and Jay on the mic were just phenomenal. And then we had like people like Rhino, Spike Dudley and Lita, and all of that just added to the match. And it was probably one of my favourite matches of like the entire pay-per-view. And it kind of like summed up like how awesome that era was.
It really was. Like, I think in terms of all the TLC matches, that match, the TLC 2, X7, such an awesome match. And as you mentioned, GR just really kind of makes their matches. I couldn't imagine it without his commentary. Like, where Edge climbs the ladder and spears Jeff Hardy, it's a moment that we've seen so many times, such an iconic moment. And without GR's commentary, it's just not the same. Like, I would hate Michael Cole and JBL just ruining a TLC match. It would be absolutely awful. But there was so many spots in that, like the swanton off the ladder, Jeff trying to walk across the top of the ladders, like so many cool moments. Awesome seeing Lita in there. I think that'd definitely be my top TLC match as well.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, like that kind of like summed up the childhood. Like we used to get matches like that all the time. Like they're all hard hitting, and I just really love something like that to find that era. But to have it now, just to shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to get that now. I would love to see how they go about it. Hopefully it's something that we do get, and with them teasing it, WrestleMania next year, it could be an awesome event. So I guess that covers our thoughts on our dream matches and our favourite TLC. So make sure to get involved and let us know in the comments who you would put in your dream TLC match and which was your favourite TLC match. It can be any match over the years. We've had lots of them. We've had CM Punk against Hardy, Edge against John Cena, lots of TLC matches, so make sure to get involved and let us know in the comments which is your favourite and of course your dream TLC match. So let's move on to the card for TLC. First up, we'll have a singles match between Ryback and Rusev, who now got Lana back in his corner. What do you think of this one, Al? Are you liking what's going on with Rusev and having Lana back by his side?
I'm glad that they're back together because, like, if anyone knows, like, I was such a huge fan of the pairing, and I thought they were like really good. It was the first like gimmick character that worked, and it worked for like such a long time, and then they kind of like went off the idea and went separate ways. But I still think they had a lot of mileage, so I'm glad they're back together. But I'm not really keen on this. Oh well, Lana put out. No, she didn't. Rusev. No, she didn't. I'm like really sick of that already, and I kind of wish that Ryback could just like get lost.
Yeah, she didn't go all the way, did she? Neither of them did. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I really like about this, because I thought I would really like Rusev and Lana back together, but it doesn't seem the same. I guess we've been asking this question a lot on TARDIS Talk. Who is the hybrid? I think Lana is a bit of a hybrid, because she's not what she used to be. She's like this. She's probably more like the Dolph version, as opposed to like the Rusev version. It's kind of a mixture. I don't like the fact that she was feigning injury and like playing the damsel in distress, because that's totally not like what Lana's character used to be. So I haven't really liked it. And with Ryback in there, it's not really a match that I'm too interested in. Like, I think this could go either way. I'm probably going to side with Rusev, just the fact that he's back, and they do seem to be pushing him as part of this League of Nations. So I think he'll probably get the win in this one. Could you see it going the same way, or do you think Ryback's got a case for a victory?
Oh God, no. I'm really hoping for like Rusev to just pick it up, and hopefully he's going to pick up a few more and kind of go back to what he used to be. None of this TMZ rumor crap. I want like Rusev and Lana back as that really strong unit that they were, and having them in the League of Nations, hopefully that's just the start of things.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we get that. They just need to reboot them, and I think having Lana in that League of Nations as well, it's a good like mouthpiece to have in there. So I'm all for that. We're both going to go Rusev on this first one.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So that's the first match out of the way. Next up, we'll have a chairs match for the WWE United States Championship as Alberto Del Rio defends against Jack Swagger. I don't know what to make of this. I don't want to sound like a downer, but this is like the second match in a row that I'm not too keen on. It's just, we've seen this match so many times between Del Rio and Swagger that I've kind of lost interest in it. And even though they've kind of mixed it up a bit and put this as a chairs match, I really don't get chairs matches. Because why not just make it no DQ where you can use any weapon at ringside? It'd be so much better. Like, I said this on We Talk, make it a musical chairs match. I'll be like so much more interested in it than having just a regular chairs match. Because I've got like a bad taste in my mind from last year, I think it was, when Ambrose and Bray Wyatt were just throwing chairs in there.
Oh God, yeah.
It didn't really work. I get it's TLC and you kind of need to fit it in there, but it's part of the other matches. You don't need a separate chairs match. I think it's one that could again go either way. I don't know if they would drop the title from Del Rio, but because he's involved in this League of Nations, maybe it's something that he can move on to that and maybe he'll be paired with Sheamus a bit more. It's interesting with what they've done with Zeb Coulter because he seems to have kind of dropped him, and the whole Mex America thing, it didn't last very long. So this is going back to just represent Mexico now, I guess. I could maybe see Zeb Coulter come down to ringside. Maybe in his scooter, everyone thinks he's in there, and he could just pull a chair out, get out the scooter, and take out Del Rio, side with Jack Swagger, and it'll kind of reset him, because Swagger, until Del Rio come back, he hadn't been doing anything. So maybe they can go back that route and have the whole We the People thing again. What do you see happening with this?
Well, I don't think Zeb Coulter is going to come out as like a benefit fraud. It's strange because you say you weren't you say you weren't invested in the feud and things, whereas I really enjoyed Swagger and Del Rio. But I don't think Del Rio. I really enjoyed like the whole We the People things, and I think I'm enjoying it a lot more, even though I don't like Del Rio because of that. And I don't know, it's a strange one. I think it could go either way, especially with Zeb now separating from Del Rio. I think there's a chance Swagger could win, and because that Del Rio is with the League of Nations, I think there's a strong possibility, even if he does lose, he can still go on to bigger things because he's with that unit. So it's kind of like a really tough one to call.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there. Like, I think he can lose this now because he is involved in like the main event picture, so he doesn't really need the United States Championship. I think it'd do wonders for Swagger to get him the championship back. I don't know, it's a strange one, but I think I'm probably going to stick with Del Rio.
Yeah, I think if they want to make Del Rio look strong, I think he needs to keep it for a little while longer. But like you said, I think he probably should drop it to someone like Swagger. People we haven't seen for a while, because I can't even remember the last time we saw Swagger. So I definitely think he could do with a title or something.
Well, I think he was like wrestling Del Rio, and then Del Rio left, and Swagger just got pushed backstage and come back when Del Rio come back. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of a bit not really into the match, because it feels like the last time I seen Swagger he was wrestling Del Rio, and that's what he's doing this time. So it doesn't seem fresh and new. It seems like the same thing. Prediction-wise, I'm going to go Del Rio. Are you going the same way?
Yeah, I think I have to, even though I want Swagger too, and I think it has to be Del Rio.
Cool. Well, that's we're agreeing on two matches. The next one, now, to be honest, I'm a lot more hyped for this one. We've got an 8-man tag team elimination tables match that sees the ECW originals in Bubba Ray, Devon, Tommy Dreamer, and Rhino going up against the Wyatt family. So we've got Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan. So all four of each team in this match, we're guaranteed at least 4 people going through table because it's an elimination match. Surely you can tell how hyped I am already. I just want to see people go through tables. They've already got them with the names on there. I cannot wait. It's the Dudley signature match. I think this is going to be like a really strong match. I think it'll be one of the best of the night. The thing is, even though I say it's the Dudley signature match, I have a feeling, and this may sound crazy, but the Wyatts might actually win. I think they'll like send a big statement, like taking out the Dudleys in their own match when they've gone for so many months where they haven't got a win. And when they come out on Raw and they kind of went up against the League of Nations, I thought this was like the Wyatt family stepping up and they were going to get a really big push then. But they got eliminated like first in the match, and it was like complete fail. But I think this is a chance to really put them over. I think this is a good chance to put Strowman over as well, so you can have like a really dominant showing and then put like to maybe 3 of the other team through a table. So it's like all down to Strowman. It just shows that destruction. How do you see it going?
I definitely agree. Like, I'm really looking forward to this match, and it's strange because every time there's been a Wyatt match for the past God knows how many months, you go in thinking, oh, they're going to lose again or whatever, or they need to win. But because of the stipulation of the match, like, I kind of don't care. Like, I'm really excited, and just seeing the Dudleys again back on form, and having people like Rhino and Dreamer, people like we watched for like years when we were younger. It's like really exciting, like you said. I just can't wait to see someone go through a table. I can't decide who's going to win. Like, even on my prediction sheet, I don't have like a winner. I kind of think because it's the Dudleys match, it should win, but at the same time, I'm still filled with that thing where the Whites need some sort of huge victory. And like you say, they were eliminated pretty much straight away on Raw, so I think I am going to go with the Whites because it'd be like a good victory for them to, like you say, eliminate the Dudleys in their own type of match.
Yeah, I think this is definitely one that can afford to give them a win in as well. Like, Undertaker last month, it was like the anniversary and everything, and we all knew, like, there's no way they're going to win that match. But I think this one, there's nothing really riding on it. Sure, it's the Dudley's signature match, but I think that just gives you another reason to have the Wyatts win, because it does send that statement. So I think this is a good way to go with that. I'm pretty happy with the Wyatt family winning this one.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, it's a perfect opportunity to like build more on Braun, because Braun could be someone that in a few years he could entirely dominate like the whole roster. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him, and I can only expect like really good things in this match.
Yeah, well, thinking forward, like if Strowman has like a really dominant showing in this, we've got the Royal Rumble coming up next month. So it can lead into that with like Bray Wyatt cutting these promos about how Strowman's going to like go in there and eliminate everyone, break all the records, and, you know, send the Wyatts to WrestleMania.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said, I think it's got a bright future, and I just hope they don't ruin it too soon and split them up again after they've all just like bonded and become even better than they were before.
Yeah, hopefully this is like what sets them back on track. So we're 3 for 3 so far. Moving to the next match, which is the WWE Divas Championship, as Charlotte takes on Paige. Now, Charlotte's got Ric Flair in her corner. Going with the dirty tactics. Are you liking this one?
I'm still like a fan of the feud, but it kind of feels like it's simmered down a lot after like we had the whole brother things in the last pay-per-view. Things seem to have like slowed down a lot now. We've got Becky and things. I think it would have added like a lot more to the feud if they had gone along with the ladder match that apparently they had planned, but it's been dropped, and because there's no stipulation, I'm not really that bothered.
I get where you're coming from, yeah. I think this was a perfect opportunity to have like a ladder match or some kind of gimmick in there. It's strange that they always overlook the divas, and I think when you've got people as talented as Charlotte and Paige, it's the perfect opportunity to do it. It's really strange that they haven't. As far as like the feud goes, I think it's probably one of the ones that's had like the best build leading into TLC.
Yeah.
It does feel like it's simmered down a little bit because we had like the whole animosity with Paige's comments about Charlotte's brother, and since then they did like pretty much beat the crap out of each other last month. But going into this, it doesn't seem the same kind of thing. It's more mind games, and Paige trying to get into Becky's head and pit her up against Charlotte. And then I don't know what happened with Charlotte. She just decided, you know, get Dad in. He can help us out, teach us a few tricks. Ric Flair at ringside, just causing havoc and like further just demolishing Team PCB. I could probably see Becky maybe getting involved in this, maybe coming out and just, I don't know, distracting someone at ringside, whether she intends to or not, because she has been kind of inserted into this. So I think there'll probably be a plan for her going forward and probably get like a 3-way or something like that. As far as the match goes though, I think if it's going to be, I say a clean win, but if it's going to be a win without Becky, I think it's probably going to be following on from what we've seen on Raw, where Rick kind of gets involved and he teaches Charlotte a few new tricks. We see her like styling and profiling, picks up the win via these dirty tactics. And to be fair, if that is the case and she goes down this heel route, I think she works so much better as a heel, because people seem to be booing anyway just for the fact that they want Sasha in there. So if it works, you know, make her a heel, get them booing, and it actually makes sense. And I'm sure people will cheer for Paige anyway whenever she comes out. So put her as a face. I'm kind of happy with that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think this, if they're going to do like a double turn, I think now would be the right time to do it. Because I think even just having Ric Flair in our corner as a heel that'd be something in itself which would be like brilliant. It's kind of like another reason I think why they maybe should have made it no DQ or falls count anyway. I think it would have been a great opportunity to see them both like go at it yet again and kind of finish the feud. You never know, we might see Ric Flair in a PTO at the end of the match. Don't know.
Fingers crossed.
I think we're going to get some interesting things, but it kind of just depends if WWE are going to force a stipulation at the end or Ric Flair's going to kind of do the heel thing again and Charlotte's going to come out victorious. It's like a really strange one because I should be a lot more looking forward to it than I am, but for this, I don't know, I've kind of like lost a little bit of interest.
Well, I think it'll be a really good match because I liked the match they had last time. Like, I'm sure I tweeted out during it, like, I felt like that was, like, the start of the Divas Revolution, the fact that they had these, down to these two now as opposed to everyone else. It felt like they were putting more focus on the match, and I thought they did put on like a good match. So I'm hoping that continues with this. Do you like the fact that Ric Flair's involved though, or would you prefer this without him?
It's strange because I think if they're going to go down the heel route, I think it's like a brilliant idea, and there's a lot they can do. If he's just going to just be there, being a bit drunk or whatever, I kind of wish he'd go away. But I think it looks like we're going to go down the heel route, so I don't mind that at all. And Ric Flair's one hell of a manager, even just sat there doing his walk and things. That alone's brilliant. So I think it just depends on if Charlotte's going to be heel or face.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I think if they go down the heel route, it's ideal having Ric Flair in there because like he's the ultimate heel with like the things that he pulled off. So it's great having teaching Charlotte that, and I like the fact like Charlotte's going heel. I much prefer that. I think it's going to work a lot better, and it gives her a chance to then go up against people like Becky and Sasha who are getting like lots of cheers. So I think it makes a lot more sense rather than have two people face off that are kind of faces.
Yeah, definitely. She suits it a lot more better being a heel. And I kind of think we're going to get Team Bad kind of going into the role of the New Day. We've got at the minute where, fair enough, the heels, but everyone's cheering for them. I think we're going to go down that route and hopefully, fingers crossed after this. I think Charlotte will win. I think we're going to get maybe a rehash of Charlotte versus Sasha for probably Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I could maybe say that, like going forward. I think everyone's like clamouring to get Sasha in there, and I think they're going to bow down at that peer pressure and maybe give her the shot at Royal Rumble. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and how it goes. I would totally go with what you said, then I would say like Charlotte's set for retaining in this match, and then Paige has had a few shots. She always seems to get them in there, so maybe move on to someone else, and I think Sasha is ideal to go with.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think people want to see another Paige title run just yet. I know I don't, even though I'm a fan. I think I'd much rather see like a healthy Charlotte title run and have something a little bit fresh before things go back to how they were.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I think, again, like we're agreeing on that one, it's got to be a win for Charlotte. That takes us into the next match then, which is the triple threat tag team match, a ladder match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. We've got the New Day. I don't know if it's going to be all three members. I guess it's no DQ, so we'll probably see all three of them in there. They're taking on the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, and the Lucha Dragons in Kalisto and Sin Cara. I'm actually like really looking forward to this match as well. Like I love ladders. I'm like Jeff Hardy. It's just like I think there's so much they can actually do in this, and because you've got Woods at ringside, who I guess will probably be the third man, it makes it interesting because this is no DQ, so you can get involved. And I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but I like the idea of him taking down the championships and the match seemingly ending, but, you know, some kind of controversy because he wasn't officially in the match.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It kind of reminds me a lot of like when I was saying about the WrestleMania moments. It's a lot like that. The only thing I do wish is if they had like a fourth team that were a bit more brawlery, because the teams that we do have, fair enough, we've got Big E, but they all kind of feel like they've got the same kind of moveset, fair enough. The little difference, but most of them are like high flyers. Like we've got Kofi, we've got the Usos, and then the Lucha Dragons. They're all pretty much the same. So I kind of wish we had like a brawler or someone a bit more meaty, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does. I think that is what you kind of need. The Dudleys play that role in like the TLC matches. I think you probably needed someone like that in this, and I thought we were going to get the New Day against the Dudleys before they switched attention to the Wyatts. I don't know, I'm interested to see what they do, especially with the Lucha Dragons in there, because every single week when I watch Kalisto, he seems to like pull off all these amazing moves. I want to see what he can kind of do in this match, because I'm sure he'll come up with something, and working with Sin Cara, they've got a lot of double team moves where they work together. So I'm sure they can incorporate that with the ladders. I think we're going to be interested, in for a really good match with this one.
Yeah, definitely. I think this one out of all of them's got the most potential to probably be the match of the night. Like you said, there's people like Kalisto, even Kofi, you have to give him his dues, like, over the years and, like, over the past few months, Kalisto and whatnot, they've pulled off some really good things in just normal matches, and now that we've got the added bonus of the ladder and things, I dare say, like you said, I think we're probably looking at the match of the night.
I think so. I think this is going to be, like, a really big contender for match of the night. I think it could steal the show. Do you think it's going to be a retain, though, for the New Day? Because they're still, like, hot as hell at the minute, especially getting, like, Team Bad involved. It's like, I don't want to see them take it off them yet. I feel the Usos, like, just coming back, it's too soon to give them it. I feel the Lucha Dragons deserve a title run at some point, but I don't think this is the right time.
I think this is one of the great things, like, with something like a ladder match where you have to go get the title. It kind of doesn't feel as much as a loss to someone like the New Day if they were to lose. But, like you said, I'm still far too high in New Day, and I think the Lucha Dragons have got a tiny bit more to go before they get it back. I don't want to see the Usos win just yet, even though I love them. So I still think New Day have still got a long way to go. I'd probably leave them have the titles till at least Royal Rumble or even WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think it's probably, like, best to just wait a little bit for that. I would love to see it stick with the New Day. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the New Day on this one. I kind of, like, fault them. I love everything they do. I just hope, like, Woods gets his trombone back, because I think the Usos have still got it. I just want to play, like, the Final Fantasy theme when they win the match.
I definitely love that, especially, like, I'm a high Final Fantasy, but like you say, they're on fire. They're probably, like, the main event of every wrestling show lately. Like, the things that everyone wants to see. They're even getting more cheers and boos and whatnot than people who are in the main event.
Oh, well, that's the thing. Like, the ratings, like, seem to be, like, really bad the last couple of weeks. And because of that, they seem to bring the New Day out more and more. So they seem to be involved in everything. And I think that just shows, they can rely on them. And they're realizing, how much people are behind them. So I'm all for the New Day. I think they should stick with the title. So prediction-wise, I can't go anything other than a New Day.
Definitely, they have to win, and if they don't, I'll probably rage.
Well, I'll be raging too. I'm sure I'll be tweeting during the event. So the next match, this is the Intercontinental Championship on the line. So we've got Kevin Owens defending against Dean Ambrose in what I think is going to be a standard wrestling match. They did mention TLC on SmackDown, but looking at WWE.com, it seems to be just a standard match now. And to be honest, even though I said some of the other matches were kind of lacking a gimmick, I think this one will be a good one. I just hope they give them time and it's not all given to the TLC matches.
I kind of agree, but I think this one out of all of them probably should have had, like, a gimmick, because these two are probably the most lethal ones out of the entire roster, and even if it was just a hardcore match or something, I just think that would have only added to the match. It's strange that they haven't, but I dare say they're still going to deliver just as well as everyone else in the card, and I think if not the ladder match, this will probably be match of the night, because both of them just got it like hell, and they always pull off great matches, even though I'm not a huge fan of Dean Ambrose. I can't fault his in-ring style or anything. He's brilliant.
Well, that's the thing. I think this being a standard match, it took me by surprise, because we've got the lunatic over there. We've got Kevin Owens that'll go to any length to win. I thought this was, like, destined to be a TLC match or a ladder match, table match, whatever. I thought it'd be really good. It seems strange, like, not having a gimmick in this one. But at the same time, I think these two are, like, two really talented guys. Regardless, I think they'll put on, like, a really good show. And I can see it maybe, like, coming down to a DQ or something, and then all hell breaks loose. And they'll get the ladders and stuff involved anyway.
It may seem like a long shot, but we know that Sami Zayn's back and ready and things. So with it not having a stipulation, maybe Sami Zayn might come back and beat the living crap out of Kevin Owens, because obviously we know they've got some history in NXT and he kind of, like, injured him and things. Maybe we'll get something like that. I don't think we're going to get a clean finish purely because it doesn't have a stipulation, and I kind of think, I don't know, I'm kind of hoping we're going to get some Sami Zayn things going into the end of the year.
Well, I would love that, to be honest with you. Only thing is, Sami Zayn is in the UK at the moment, so
oh god, yeah.
It's like he's with the NXT TakeOver tour, because he was up in Newcastle when we went on Thursday. So it was really cool to see him back. Like, he got such a good ovation, and he put on a main event with Finn Balor, and he looks to be in great shape, so I don't think it'll be long before he gets back to the main roster and reignites things with Owens. But I'm kind of disappointed now you've said that, because I would love to see him actually get involved and cost Owens the match. In terms of Owens losing the match, though, I think Ambrose has actually got a good chance of winning the title in this one.
I think this is the only thing. I kind of worry that if Kevin Owens doesn't have a title, I wonder where he's going to fall on the roster, because I don't think he's fully established himself there. Fair enough, everyone loves him, but I don't think he's found his feet on the main roster. It's kind of sad because he's so good, but I don't know, it's a strange one. Yeah,
since like the Cena stuff.
He's kind of like teetering somewhere and he hasn't got someone to go off, so I think I'm really on the fence. I still think he should keep it just for a little while longer, even if he was to lose it like next week on Raw or something. I don't know.
Well, I think they've had like so many like chances to put Ambrose as like the world heavyweight champion, and they haven't gone with it. I think now it's been a while since he held the United States Championship, so maybe like a short run with this, it'll be a good thing. And because we're going into the Royal Rumble, it means like these two guys, regardless of if they've got a championship or not, they can insert themselves into the Royal Rumble match, and they'll all be kind of vying for that spot at WrestleMania. So I guess the focus won't really be on the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, thinking about it in that sense, it probably wouldn't be as bad, but like I said, I just worry about Kevin Owens where he would be when he does lose the title, and I think Ambrose really could do without a title.
Well, I think that is the case. I think Ambrose doesn't need it. The fans are so behind him. Owens maybe does need it just to like solidify himself on the roster. And I don't know, with you mentioning Sami Zayn, I kind of get that out of my head now. I want to see Owens and Zayn on the main roster because it was so good in NXT. It's been so good in Ring of Honor. Like they've always, every time they've faced off against each other, it's been some memorable matches. So I'd love to see them get the chance to do that on the main roster. And I guess you don't really need a championship on the line for that. But at the same time, it does add so much more when there is something on the line. So I'm torn on this one. I want Owens to keep it, but at the same time, I kind of want Ambrose to win just to freshen things up a little, even if it is just like a short reign and Owens wins it back.
I think I'm going to stick with my theory and just hope that Sami Zayn gets a private jet or something and costs the match.
Let's hope so. We'll be looking out for him. I'm going to go up with something on this one. I'll go Dean Ambrose. I think could go anyway. I think people have to let me know in the comments who they're going with, because this is one of the ones where I feel either option is an option that we could see.
Yeah, and by all means, I don't think any option's wrong. I think both of them will make a great champion. It's just like a really tough one to call because they're both kind of in the same boat. Even though Ambrose is loved by everyone, he's still like someone who's like, I don't know, he's twisting his way through the roster, and I don't think he's got like a standing point either.
Yeah, I think it is. They're like in similar positions where like they're at a sticking point because they won't push them all the way.
Yeah.
So it's like, where do they go next? And, you know, maybe this feud will be good for them. Maybe they can go back and forth and maybe just drop the title between each other. Because we don't really see that too often. Everyone seems to hold it for quite a while. So I think that could be quite a good option to go down.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to go with Owens in the hope that I think they're going to pull off one hell of a match, but I really want Sami Zayn.
Well, I really want him to. You've kind of ruined it now because I'm going to watch this match and I'm just going to wait for Sami. And if his music doesn't hit, I'm going to be so disappointed. So that covers everything except the main event. We've got the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on the line in a tables, ladders and chairs match as Sheamus defends against Roman Reigns as he looks to beat him in just 5 minutes and 15 seconds for a second time. Do you think he can pull that one off? I think this has got to be a Sheamus win. I don't know if he'll do it so quick. It might take him a while just to climb the ladder and get it, but I can definitely see Sheamus win. I think he's going to have lots of help at ringside with the League of Nations. I can definitely see them getting involved. And like you mentioned, Barrett and people, some of them aren't actually on the card, so I can see them getting involved. I think it's got to be a Sheamus win. If they were going to give it to Roman Reigns, there was no reason to have him win it last month, only to drop it straight away. Everything they've done with Sheamus since then would be absolutely pointless.
Yeah, I really agree. I think if they are going to give it to Roman Reigns, that it was kind of pointless what they've done with Sheamus. I know a lot of it was because of, obviously, Seth got injured and they had to think about things, but I really enjoyed Sheamus. I've been a huge fan for ages, and I think having this League of Nations thing's only made him better, and well, I really don't want Roman Reigns as the champion, and I think a lot of us can probably see Roman Reigns doing the whole Royal Rumble thing and probably catching the title at Mania and having the sort of Daniel Bryan moment.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was like a false dawning last month, and that was just like a teaser. I think if they do it, they're probably going to push through and do that at WrestleMania, so we'll probably have to wait a while. We'll probably see him go through the Royal Rumble again, maybe win that and go on to WrestleMania against the Authority. As far as Sheamus goes, you mentioned like not having someone that was like quite physical in the tag team match. I think this match, having Sheamus in there, I think this is going to be like a really physical TLC match. So I can see them like pulling off quite a lot of like physical and brutal moves. I can see them like really struggling to walk the next day after this. I think this is going to be like such a brutal match. I think that's what Sheamus needs though. I think he needs to go back to being that like the bully figure, that he dominates his opponents, because we've seen like the champion that's been under the Authority for so long now, where they've been more of a weakened champion and they've relied on everyone else. And fair enough, Sheamus has got the League of Nations to back him up here, but I think he's probably the first person for a while that has that build and the look that, you know, this guy can hold his own.
Yeah, definitely. I was a huge fan of Sheamus, especially when he had the pole and things. He was like this really, really aggressive start, and like you said, I don't think he kind of needs League of Nations, and it only like adds to it. I think there's a lot Sheamus could do, and you kind of believe in him as a champion, whereas Seth Rollins, because of his look, you're kind of like hesitant. But with Sheamus, I can like look at him and believe he's a champion, and I think he's got a really, really good moveset. So for me, I think there's a lot more he can bring to a champion than Roman can right now.
Yeah, I think people are going to be surprised with Sheamus like going forward. I think a lot of people weren't too bothered about Sheamus winning. It was kind of like the option that you would take over Roman Reigns, because there's a lot of people that didn't want to see him as a champion, even though there's a lot of people that do. I don't know, I think Sheamus going forward, he could be quite a dominant champion. It just depends how they kind of book it. But I think he's got everything that he needs to be that. And I think if they go down that route and they make him that dominant force, it's something different to what we're seeing with Randy Orton and Seth. So I'm all for that. I kind of like that fact. And to be honest, I just want to see him like have a really dominant showing here. And if the League of Nations do get involved and we see people like the Usos coming down to ringside as well, I think the League of Nations really need to like put themselves over as the dominant force in this, with them being a new faction. Otherwise, if they take the loss and they make it look weak, then it kind of devalues them before they've really got started.
Yeah, I think the League of Nations definitely need that sort of stamp, and they need to do something big to kind of like define themselves as a faction, because like you said, at the minute they haven't really done an awful lot. Fair enough, there's been a few matches and run-ins and whatnot, but they kind of haven't done anything really important yet. But like on the other hand, I kind of hope that Roman does this on his own. Not Roman,
Sheamus.
I was going to call him I'm forgetting everyone's name tonight. I really want Sheamus to kind of like pull it out on his own. I want him to have like a brutal match and kind of be the worthy champion that I think he can be.
Yeah, I think that would be like cool, to be honest. I see the League of Nations getting involved, but I would prefer it if they didn't, and it was Sheamus that was left to do this. And then, you know, he hasn't got any excuses when Roman Reigns says like you didn't beat us by yourself, it wasn't a fair fight. I would just love to see Sheamus go out all about this himself and pick up the win, you know, a clean win without any help.
I think it's inevitable. I think we're probably going to get everyone and his dog in the ring at some point. We're going to have, like you say, the Usos and whatnot in the ring. And it'll probably turn into some massive brawl. But I think, all in all, I think we're probably going to see some kind of sneakiness towards the end. And I do think Sheamus will return it. I think this feud's going to go on for a little longer. It could probably even go into, like, WrestleMania or something.
Yeah, I think it's like one of them ones where it could like carry on for a little while, and you know, Sheamus gives him that rematch and he says, you've had that, you're not going to get any more, and that makes Reigns then enter the Royal Rumble and he's got a reason to go on and win it, which isn't necessarily what I want to see, but it does make sense.
And as long as it like prolongs Sheamus's reign, I'm kind of alright with it, because I think we all know at some point that Roman is going to be champion, and I just hope that they don't kind of trash Sheamus on the way there.
Yeah, I hope so. So should we agree on this? A strong win for Sheamus? Make Sheamus look strong?
Yeah, definitely. I don't want Roman as the champ.
So that brings us to the end of our preview and predictions and for WWE TLC. But make sure to get involved and let us know your thoughts in the comments, along with your dream TLC match participants and your favourite TLC matches. Elle, before we sign out, have you got any content you'd like to promote? Because you recently hit a big number in 5K. Are you going to be celebrating that? What can we expect?
I've got a few surprises in store. We've got our TLC through the years. We've just released a special match between me and you, which we had online, which was really fun, even though there's some slight cheating at the end from your point.
Well, there may be a little bit of glitching in the end. It's worth watching, though. Very much worth watching.
Yeah, hint, hint. I've got some sort of Christmas Advent things going on. I've got 5,000 followers, and I think I'm going to call it 5,000 tires or something like that. I've got some tires going all the way back to my very first videos, which has been kind of like interesting, going back and seeing like all I've done. And then there's going to be a special trailer for something at the very end of the week, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Oh, that sounds good. Just teasing me with something else in there. Now, I think that's well deserved, though. Congratulations on 5K, because it is a big milestone and it's well deserved. And, you know, it should have come sooner. Congratulations.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that, but I just want to say, like, thank you to everyone like you and Dill and people who've helped me over the years, and fingers crossed we'll get even further eventually.
You will do. I can tell you right now, it'll be 10K in the next couple of months, guaranteed. Especially when you put out this special content they put out. I'll have to check out that, definitely. As for the SmackTalks channel, there's community showcases up this weekend. So we've got Goldberg, which was really awesome. That went up yesterday. We've got the Dudley Boys, kind of tying that into TLC today. And we've also got some news that's going up today on the 2K16 patch that's being released, along with details on the next DLC pack. And that's set for release on December 22nd, just in time for Christmas. Also, if you're a fan of Doctor Who, then you can check out our joint channel, Regeneration X, for our TARDIS Talk podcast covering last week's finale and offering up a few theories on some of the things that we didn't get answered in the show. So make sure to check out Regeneration X. And of course, in regards to TLC, let us know your predictions in the comments. You can submit them over at smacktalks.org/predictions. But I guess all that's